The book of Judges, chapter 15, verse 1 to 20. Judges, chapter 15, verse 1 to 20. And I will read. But it came to pass within a while after, in the time of wheat harvest, that Samson visited his wife with a kid. And he said, I will go into my wife into the chamber. I will go into my wife into the chamber, but her father would not suffer him to go in. And her father said, I verily thought that thou had utterly hated her. Therefore I gave her to thy companion. Is not her younger sister fairer than she? Take her, I pray thee, instead of her. And Samson said concerning them, now shall I be more blameless than the Philistines, though I do them a displeasure. And Samson went and caught 300 foxes and took firebrands and turned tail to tail and put a firebrand in the midst between two tails. And when he had set the brands on fire, he let them go into the standing corn of the Philistines and burned up both the shocks and also the standing corn with the vineyards and olives. Then the Philistines said, who has done this? And they answered, Samson, the son-in-law of the Timnite, because he had taken his wife and given her to his companion. And the Philistines came up and burnt her and her father with fire. And Samson said unto them, though ye have done this, yet will I be avenged of you, and after that I will cease. And he smote them hip and thigh with a great slaughter, and he went down and dwelt in the top of the rock Etam. Then the Philistines went up and pitched in Judah and spread themselves in Lehi. And the men of Judah said, why are ye come up against us? And they answered, to bind Samson are we come up, to do to him as he has done to us. Then 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of the rock Etam and said to Samson, knowest thou not that the Philistines are rulers over us? What is this that thou hast done unto us? And he said unto them, as they did unto me, so have I done unto them. And they said unto him, we are come down to bind thee, that we may deliver thee into the hand of the Philistines. And Samson said unto them, swear unto me that ye will not fall upon me yourselves. 13. And they spake unto him, saying, no, but we will bind thee fast and deliver thee into their hand, but surely we will not kill thee. And they bound him with 2 new cords and brought him up from the rock. And when he came unto Lehi, the Philistines shouted against him, and the Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and the cords that were upon his arms became as flax that was burnt with fire, and his bands loosed from off his hands. And he found a new jawbone of an ass, and put forth his hand, and took it, and slew 1,000 men therewith. And Samson said, with the jawbone of an ass, heaps upon heaps, with the jawbone of an ass, have I slain 1,000 men. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking, that he cast away the jawbone out of his hand, and called that place Ramath-Lehi. And he was sore athirst, and called on the Lord, and said, thou hast given this great deliverance into thy hand of thy servant, and now shall I die for thirst, and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised? But God clave an hollow place that was in the jaw, and there came water thereout. And when he had drunk, his spirit came again, and he revived. Wherefore he called the name thereof En-Hakkore, which is in Lehi unto this day. And he judged Israel in the days of the Philistines 20 years. God bless the reading. The speaker will be speaking on the theme, A Spring of Comfort, and I now welcome her. Karibu.
Praise God. Praise God again. I thank God this morning for the gift of life and for the privilege to stand before His people today. Today we are going to share about the theme that has been said to us, a spring of comfort. A spring of comfort, that is what we are talking about. And that theme is coming from the reading that has been read to us, Judges chapter 15, verses 1 to 20. And I wanted us to read the whole chapter so that we understand where we are coming from. Throughout the chapters of the chapter 15, you realize we are being told about the events of Samson, some miracles that were being done, some things that God did through his hand to help Samson out of some difficult situations. You can see that what was happening in the whole of chapter 15, it was not actually something that human beings can do. It was the hand of God. Whatever Samson was trying to do, tying up foxes, letting them into the vineyards to burn everything, it is not what can be done by man. Praise God. So today, as we look onto this chapter, I want us to look at Samson. Samson, who is our main character in this chapter. Samson, we know that he was like a thorn. He was like an enemy to the Philistines. And in this chapter, we are told about so many things, so many encounters that Samson was having the Philistines and how he was dealing with them. And if you look at what he was doing, actually God was helping him. God was using him. We were told in the Bible, if you read somewhere in Judges 13, you find that Samson was born for one reason, to begin the deliverance of the Israelites. That was the main reason why Samson was born. And here, what he is doing is actually trying to ridicule or to offense the enemies of the Israelites. These were the Philistines. The Philistines were not giving the people of Judah peace. They were not giving the other people peace. They were against these people of God. And Samson was the man who had been chosen just to begin the deliverance journey. And as an enemy or a thorn in the Philistines, Samson in his battles, he was winning naturally. Praise God. He was winning naturally. And he was a hero naturally. Why? Because he was born for the purpose of God. He was working for God. So from our religious point of view, if we look at Samson, as men and women who know God and understands God, we will fail to see Samson as man who was working for the hour that God has appointed. If you view Samson with the human eye, you will fail to see Samson as God's man for the hour that was appointed. So today, as we look at Samson, we are looking at him through the eye that God was looking at him. Samson, he had his own